Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner. This week in the Royal Corner, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, negotiates new £73 million 5-year Netflix deal. In your face, you redundant royals. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner this week, Boo Boo Kitty Katie and the Green-Eyed King plan to move house, yes, at the public expense. They're moving from Adelaide Cottage, a several £1 million property on the grounds, for Fort Belvedere, where the public will pick up the tab for the renovation, of course, after they've had another 16 holidays. We also have the fake news story that Prince Harry needs to share his schedule with the king so that he can be involved in peace talks. What they basically meant is that the king wants to see his schedule so that every time Harry's doing something, they cannot do it on the same day and get the headlines. Then we have Boo Boo Kitty Katie, the indolent, lazy, sloth queen in waiting V&A exhibition. Where did that come from? Aren't you still on holiday? Did you curate the products? Or was it just once again another endeavor on your part where you're just not present? And finally, we have the Green-Eyed King's homelessness initiative, building 16 homes on his land where people there are still going to be paying his greedy self rent. All this and more. Oh, we got Sycophant of the week as well. All this and more on the Headley Highlight Show. Yes, I went on holiday. And one is feeling refreshed. First, before we dive into this week's proceedings, darlings, I want to say thank you to everybody who listened to my long-form interview with Miss Shirley Winters. Please do go back and enjoy it. You can find Miss Winters on TikTok. She has a sizable following. Why? Because she's worth it, darlings. Anyway, it was a great interview. I really enjoyed it. So jump back in and enjoy, darlings. Also, I'm doing my very best to get to 1,800. The algorithm is not giving me all of the things that one needs. However, the flow will deliver. The ancestors are working on my side. Do please join. Click the bell notification and select all, darlings, and you will never not receive something I upload, which will be terrible for both of us. Right, let's jump straight in, shall we, darlings? Oh yes, don't forget to make a donation at deniseheadley.com. And special shout out to Tiger Mummy. Thank you so much for your donations, Tiger Mummy, and your generosity. It's so lovely. Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you give me something for the content I produce and show your appreciation in that way. Not that the other stuff isn't nice, people's likes, comments and shares, but a little money, darlings. We do like it. Let's get straight into it. Yes, you can see I had a fabulous time on my camping trip. I love camping. I went outside. I praised the earth, Pachamama. I poured libation for all of the gratitude that I have in my life, and I set that wonderful thing in motion. So to everyone's listening, joy, productivity, and happiness to you on your journey and beyond. Right. Let's jump straight in. So Meghan's Netflix deal. She is kicking it out the park as per usual. On Wednesday, the Duchess of Sussex made a huge announcement that more wine will be dropping in the coming weeks. The Napa Valley Rosé will be available soon, darlings. According to reports, Prince Harry and the Duchess are poised to sign another round of Netflix deals. According to page 6, there are more TV projects coming soon with both the Duchess and the Duke. Her second series with Love Meghan is going to be released in Netflix in the autumn, and I think that's also going to coincide with the wine release in the sense that it's going to come before, and obviously the program will be coming in that season with products for the autumn season. Don't forget, they have signed a significant supply deal with the Duchess. That's Netflix, I mean. According to the Daily Mail, the lady's name who wrote this is Alison Biscoff. She could probably receive Sycophant of the Week because of the way she wrote this article. She made reference to them being attached to the Netflix hose. How would you refer to the House of Windsor being attached to the public hose? You wouldn't, would you? I think this is going to make Alison Biscoff get Sycophant of the Week, at least be a nominee this week. Her name is not Biscoff, Denise. Her name is Alison Bosch Boshoff. Alison Boshoff. Alison Boshoff. Take a seat from the Daily Mail. This week you are the contender for Sycophant of the Week. Take a seat, Alison Boshoff. Unfortunately, you have not boshed off, and we have to suffer you. So Alison writes for the Daily Mail. Many have written that the contract will be allowed to run out in September because Netflix lost interest. No, Alison Boshoff, they didn't lose interest. That's why they're signing another deal. And then she goes on to write that the couple are firmly attached to the Netflix hose. What a double standard. She must be absolutely blinkered and blind in both eyes not to compare the royal family to that. She then goes on to say there's going to be a third series. So she spends the first 2 lines berating the couple in a particular way and trying to do the couple down, and then says there's going to be a third series. She also then comments, I also hear there are options on the table for other lifestyle shows from the Duchess tied to hosting gatherings, Thanksgiving and Christmas, you jealous cow. Of course you're jealous, because no one's interested in Kate's version of that because she couldn't even boil an egg, that one. Alison then tries to go on and say that despite truly poor ratings for his documentary series, Harry will also be part of the First Look deals, and said he's intending to make more documentary shows for Netflix. Boo-hoo, Alison! Clearly, people are interested in documentaries about what Harry and the Duchess are doing, unlike what the boo-boo Kitty Katie's doing and the Green-Eyed King. Did anybody watch his David Attenborough program or her with the Scouts? How about no? So while I started to start with a good news story, because I'm reading also getting articles from the internet, it's worthwhile for me to just jump in and just allow the things to flow as the ancestors would require. So basically, this first story is that the Duchess is actually having a brand new deal being signed by Netflix. Other projects are on the table for her and the Duke, Harry. And in addition to that, her wine is going to be available soon also. But in conjunction to that, we have Alison Boshoff from the Daily Mail also getting Sycophant of the Week because she tried to use her article to bash the Duchess while still trying to report on the fact that she is a blinding success, burning Miss Bishkoff's retinas clear out of her skull. And for that, darling, you get Sycophant of the Week. Thank you, Alison Boshoff. Bischoff, and do us all a favour. Also in the Headley Highlight Show's Royal Corner this week, Boo Boo Kitty Katie and the Green-Eyed King and their billionaire lifestyle funded by hard-working Britons and people all over the Commonwealth are moving house. Yes, they're upgrading, darlings. They're moving from £1 million house to, not £1 million, it's several £1 million houses, to another even greater £1 million house. And I'm absolutely almost positive the life force and blood and offerings of flesh of the peasants are under the bricks, darling. That's what we do. They stand on us, darling. Yes, let's move along, shall we, swiftly? I really shouldn't go on holiday too often. Inside Fort Belvedere, this is Town and Country. I think Emily Brack is also going to get Sycophant of the Week. Emily, darling, take a seat. There's just so many of them. Writing for Town and Country. What does one expect? I mean, sycophantry will have to be on one's CV. Right. Shall we move along, darling? Stay focused, Denise. Inside Fort Belvedere, Prince William and Kate Middleton's rumoured new home. So firstly, let's get this straight. These grifters, non-working royals waving their wrists and getting paid billions of pounds. Don't forget that the Green-Eyed King has just got huge amounts of money because they've got the wind farm on, I think it's the Duchy of Cornwall or is it Lancaster? Either way, it's one of them, yeah? Bin basket, same thing. They've just got that there and they have just raked in how many billions and they're not paying the taxes. Or should I say, not that they're not paying the taxes, they're paying the commensurate rate, but we can't see what that is. And now we have an article in the newspaper talking about the fact that they're going to move house at the public expense. Yes, people, they're going to get housing benefit. Yes, they're going to get a home maintenance grant. They're gonna get a home maintenance grant from some of the poorest people in the country via their contributions, yeah, so that they can move from £1 million, £4 million house to another £60 million house. Let's see how it rolls. And Emily Barak, darling, she's writing about it in such a way that we should be honoured to pay for such a privilege. I'm sure. Right, sorry. So in 2022, Prince William and Kate Middleton and their 3 children, the leeches in waiting, the little mini ones, decamped from their London to Windsor, moving to Allerdale Cottage. Basically, it's another free house at the public expense. But within 3 years, darlings, they are going to be moving to another property called Fort Belvedere at the Windsor Great Park. And we should be so happy to learn of this wonderful, tumultuous, fabulous, fandingo experience. I'm just making up the words as I go along, and who cares? The house is centuries old, she writes. Doesn't have any information about the history or anything like that. No, just that it's hundreds of years old, and we should praise the fact that it's got a historic background. Constructed in 1820, from what money? From whom? Where did they get it? Was it human trafficking? Fort Belvedere was originally called Shrubs Hill Tower. It was designed by English architect Geoffrey Waterville. Who's he? Where'd he get his money? Why was he interesting? Who was also responsible for building Windsor Castle. Very suspect. During her reign, Queen Victoria used Fort Belvedere as a tea house. Fabulous, darling. She could have her tea while the peasants starved. And in 1860 was open to the public so she could rinse the funds all over again and recycle the money. Fabulous, darling. The article goes on to tell you information about Edward and Mrs. Simpson, the sympathizer of the Nazi, yes, and also the woman he was in love with. She was half decent, unlike himself. But the point of this article is to give you this sense of grandeur, history, and not to ask so that you ask any critical questions about the reasons why they're moving house when everybody else is experiencing austerity, going through a cost of living crisis, and finding it hard to buy a pint of milk. It's also helpful to know that Fort Belvedere is set on acres of 59 acres of grounds. I mean, that's a lot of space. You could house a lot of homeless people there, couldn't you, William, darling? But we don't have any space for the little people. Only the little people's contributions for your billionaire lifestyle. Right, well, that's that story, and it's absolutely disgusting. And Emily Barak, for her curation, senior news editor who told her that, gets also Sycophant of the Week. Emily, take a seat and put down those crisps. Don't return, Emily. We do not want to read anything you write, Miss Barak. Moving along swiftly, darlings. Right, darlings, right. So, Prince Harry, this is another article that I read. It was in Fox News, and it was so ridiculous, okay? And it spoke of absolute desperation on the part of the House of Windsor and the king, should I call him King Bitter, one ailing day by day. Prince Harry's desperate to win back the royal family in latest manoeuvre with King Charles. Expert says, according to, of course, Fox News, the Duke of Sussex's offer to share his official schedule is seen as an attempt to win back the royal family's trust while King Charles remains cautious. Firstly, okay, this is a briefing article that the King Bitter and the side salad actually briefed the newspapers on, because let's face it, okay, she had them airbrush pictures of her boat race all over the newspapers, and what did she make? Page 25, because let's face it, ain't nobody wanted to look at that apart from Charles. That's your business, that's your portion, as my mum would say. Your tight boots to look at that every morning, but that's your tight boots. Nobody else wanted to look at your tight boots, aka the Queen in waiting. We weren't interested. So why would Harry suddenly want to give his schedule so that, and the reason, I should have forgot the reason why I said that. The reason I said that is because when it was her birthday, the Duke of Sussex, he was in Angola, and he banned the British press. They weren't allowed to go there, and he effectively did that whole exercise, and he channeled his mother. So why then, and she was in the papers at the time, it was her birthday, and that's what I said, she was on page 29 with her airbrush pictures, yeah? My girl had a filter on, okay? The light was shining fire in her face, and it didn't make an improvement. As I said, Prince Charles's tight boots. You brought that on yourself, in the words of Eddie Murphy. You brought that shit on yourself. Excuse me, Mom, for that word, yeah. But you did. You brought that on yourself, okay? Waking up to my girl 24/7. That's your business. But the point was, They're now trying to argue how Harry, is trying to make a peace offering. He was never making a peace offering. He was never going to share his schedule with you. You know why? Because Harry is living his best life. He's channeling his mother and all the good ancestors through the chakras and his partner and their family and their businesses. Can't you see how the frequency is blessing those people? So this article is absolutely bunkum, okay? Absolute bunkum about he's trying to share. King Bitter would have been happy for Harry to do that. You might be trying to send a signal that that's what you require for Harry to come in. But Harry's like, you know what? I'm not interested in sharing my Outlook schedule with you, King Bitter. Go about your business. Anyway, so here's the article. So Prince Harry is said to be desperate. Who are these people who's writing this? What's the name of these sycophants? Stephanie Nolasco and Ashley Papa from Fox News. Both of you come in there's so many this week. We've got so many sycophants this week. Here we go. Stephanie Nolasco and Ashley Papa, come in please, because you both also are getting sycophants of the week and you won't get any crisps, and put the ice cream down. Okay? Thank you so much. Take a seat and observe. Right, what did I say? Yes. Prince Harry looking to reconcile with King Charles. This is such a fake news story. Prince Harry is said to be desperate to reconcile with his family. Really? Does he look unhappy to you? Nicola and what's the woman's name? Ashley. He doesn't look unhappy. He looks happy as the day is long. The UK's Daily Mail, please, who believes that? Recently reported that the Duke of Sussex quietly extended an olive branch to the royals by offering a share of his official engagements. No, he didn't. That's fake news. According to the outlet, who believes that outlet? Nobody. No one believes that outlet. This is a bid to ease tensions between him and his father, who is battling the undisclosed form of cancer. His dad looks really unwell, and if his dad had any sense, he would be extended the olive branch himself, as opposed to expecting Harry to come back. Don't you understand it? He doesn't think the institution is shiny and interesting no more. He's got something else, his wife and his family. So Fox Digital reached out to a spokesman of the Duke and Duchess for a comment, and they declined to have a comment. Why should they speak to you? They're not interested in you. If Meghan's got something to say, do you know what she says? She goes to Instagram. So go and check that. And if you weren't mentioned, that's a sign. Harry is desperate, according to Fox News Digital. While serving gesture is notable, it won't do much to mitigate suspicion and caution on the royal side, Ford which claims some no-mark commentator. King Charles III is more guarded than ever, indeed, traumatized by the string of betrayals. Ha! What betrayals? They turned off his security. They put his children and his family at risk. And you're talking about betrayals, please. Anyway, darling, I need a quick sip of water because, oh my God, this is going on 17 minutes. I need to hurry up. Oh my God, the show's going to start soon. I need to hurry. Moving along swiftly, darling. Let's look at Kate's V&A exhibition, please. Isn't she on holiday? Boo Boo Kitty Katie, you rinsing out the free flights, free clothes, free trips. And she's now curating an exhibition for the little people at the V&A. So before I go, I should have said, oh, darling, I needed to get back. Nicola and what's that woman's name? Papa. For that article peddling fake news about the Duke, I give you Sycophant of the Week, darling. You and Ashley Papa for your absolutely putrid and awful article. Thank you, darlings. Thank you, Stephanie Nolasco and Ashley Papa. Thank you so much for your article. Thank you, darling. Don't write anything else. And I've got I've got two more stories for you, darling. It's Kate at the V&A's. Let's jump all over that, shall we? So Boo Boo Kitty Katie, the sloth-like queen in waiting. I don't like to do anything. I'm so under stress for my 15th holiday of the year. Apparently, she's organised an exhibition at the V&A. Is she possibly a patron? Never been there in 5 years, darling. Wandered around in a suit that you certainly didn't buy, and now you're curating an exhibition. We're so grateful, darling. The royals are curated their own mini display celebrating path makers and creators. Well done. Aren't you on holiday again? Last month, the Prince of Wales... Excuse me, darlings. Sorry. paid a visit to Victoria and Albert Museum in East London. Oh my God, she was mixing with the diverse groups. Did she have a stab vest on when she came to see us? Had they already sniped all the roofs locally? It's an enormous space, bigger than 30 basketball courts. Not as big as the house that you're moving to, in that 59 acres with your greedy self. Okay, designed to be an immersive experience, exposing visitors to 250,000 objects, 350 library books, with thousands of archives from the V&A collections. Where did the V&A get it from? Did anyone ever ask that question? I mean, what's the history of the V&A in terms of their relationship with the slave owners? We know that, all that stuff. Maybe. Shall we just move on? Yes, move on, Denise. Makers and Creators is described as a mini display consisting of a number of items chosen by the princess in conjunction with the V&A's curatorial team. So let me tell you how this went, okay? They said she needs something to do while she's on holiday, so no one starts asking the questions of, did she fly there? How many emissions did she emit? What is it that she's doing on a boat that's big enough to house all of the people that are crossing to come into this country on small boats, and probably got enough food to feed all the people who are coming on small boats. Yeah, this was done so that we don't ask questions about the holiday. They picked the stuff and she put her face on it. That's it, people. Don't be fooled by all this foolishness, you know. It's like a cream horn. Disappointing, full of fake cream and not enough sugar. The intention, like she has anything other than climbing the social ladder, is to create and celebrate past makers and creators, providing the influence of historic objects over all aspects of creativity today. Do you even have any creative bones in your body other than wanting to be an indolent queen in waiting, wearing jewels and bedazzles and baubles? Outside of that, you don't really have much functional use. Then we're treated to a collection of pictures where the queen in waiting has her trestles out with extensions, false eyebrows and everything else. And we're supposed to marvel at this wonderful décolletage, encrusting our screens as we talk about the V&A and have that sense of historical perspective. Perhaps most exciting of all is the order and object service. This means that anyone can book access. Oh, so fabulous. So we can all go to the V&A now that she's curated an exhibition for us. Oh, God, I can't wait. Thanks. For 7 days a week. I'm sure that's going to be for a fee. Any commission being paid? Affiliate links? According to a statement from the museum, the princess met with the V&A East Storehouse New Collections access team. Was that via Zoom or email? And they have been recruited locally. Oh, she's so close to the common folk to facilitate access. Right, you can see just how much my sarcasm is boiling over into asorbic. I can't think of a word. Asorbidity. I've just made that word up. I'm going to move to my final story. My God, it's almost time for the show, darlings. And my final piece this week, darlings, is the green-eyed king and his greedy self. Yes, the green-eyed king once again has outdone his levels of greediness because he now is going to have 16 homes built on a previously occupied building where he's agreed to change of use. That's all it was. It was a planning application and they rushed it through for him to have some really good PR, because don't forget he ran back to stand next to the lionesses because he has absolutely no anything. There's no unique selling point, no unique nothing about him. So he's got to stand next to people who do have unique selling points. So he rushed back for that. And then just so that we didn't forget that he was on holiday, because he did come back using a private jet or an aeroplane, because he certainly didn't come through on a small boat, because he was on a large private yacht off the coast of Greece. It's such good value for money. So yes, so he's agreed to a change of use whereby the property that he previously owned will be turned into 16 flats for homeless people, the little people once again. But they're still going to be paying him rent despite the fact that he's one of the richest people on the planet. Yeah, so the time now is 23:48 and I've been talking for some time and it's going to be time for me to go. So I do hope you've enjoyed this rather, what can I say, unique and interesting Royal Corner where one just let oneself rip and tore through the plains. I want to see you next week, darlings. Do make a donation. It's been an absolute joy to share my Friday with you once again and I look forward to it next week. Toodle pip, darlings, and cut!